The Waycross City Commission meeting is now called to order. At this time, we look to our city's manager to call for our invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This time I call the Waycross Mayor to do the invocation followed by the pledge.
Thursday.
Uh-oh, sorry.
Father, we do bless you and thank you for this time that we come together. We ask now that you guide us and guard us and govern us as we go forward in these meetings today. Thank you for your wisdom, your counsel, and your might. We look to you, for we know that you are a great God, and you guide us throughout storms as well as through times of challenge. So we thank you for what you're going to do tonight, and thank you for each soul that has arrived here safely, and may we return to our stay places safe and without harm. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Looking to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're asked that the commission look at the agenda while we look to our city's clerk to read our decorum. Madam Clerk.
Section 2-66, decorum. The mayor, commissioners, staff, and persons in attendance shall conduct themselves in a professional and respectful manner, except when expressly authorized by the mayor. All remarks, comments, and questions shall be directed to the mayor and not to individual commissioners, staff, or persons in attendance. A commissioner, staff, or person in attendance shall not speak at a meeting until the commissioner, staff, or person in attendance has been recognized by the mayor and granted permission to speak or ask a question. All comments, remarks, or questions made by commissioners, staff, or persons in attendance shall address the item or motion that is being discussed or be pertinent to the resolution, ordinance, or agenda item before the commission. No one shall make or use inappropriate, insulting, vulgar, obscene, and/or profane language or make any offensive remark or comments while speaking, nor shall anyone accuse any other person of being immoral, violating any law, rule, or regulation, or committing any ethical violation. Further, no one shall use this opportunity for public comment to speak about any activity undertaken for political reasons or ends, such as campaigning for votes before an election, campaigning for another person, making speeches, attempting to raise funds, etc., or otherwise promoting oneself or one's private position. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, the commission is looking at the program or the docket for tonight. Is there a motion to receive the agenda?
Move for approval, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion for approval by our Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from our Commissioner Nelson. Any discussion, any comments or questions regarding the agenda? Hearing none, we move into voting. All in favor, raise your right hand. Madam Clerk, it is a unanimous vote that all have agreed to the agenda. At this time, we look to our city's clerk. Do we have any public remarks on official actions?
Yes, sir, we do. We have one guest, Mr. Chris Causey. Mr. Chris, if you will step to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Mr. Causey is talking on our resolution that will be passed tonight on IT services.
Very good.
You have 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Chris Causey, 507 Elizabeth Street. I represent Advanced Computer Consulting, local computer repair shop, and also our main office in Jacksonville is Advanced IT Support. We put forth a bid for the job for your IT services here, and just had some concerns. Ultimately, you know, we'd like to have the job be awarded us, but ATC is your incumbent ISP, Internet Service Provider, currently. Having them be the awardee of the position could raise some concerns as far as conflict of interest. They would be their own checks and balances. There wouldn't be any oversight outside of themselves for the position. So just wanted to read a little bit from, I don't know if anyone received the emails today that I sent out previously, but and there was a correction to that. However, as a company, we have over 80 years combined experience in IT services. I would not begin to tell ATC how to run internet service providing company because that's not what we do. In turn, that's not what they do. They do not do advanced IT services to the level or experience that we provide. If anyone's familiar with your recent experience with VC3 as your previous IT provider, you know that all are not created equally. They did not live up to the expectation of what they were supposed to provide to you guys, and you were stuck in a multi-year contract with them. One thing that we have that kind of speaks for I guess what we believe our quality of service is, we don't require contracts of our clients. We also, in over 10 years of performing IT services for large-scale businesses, have never lost a client due to them being dissatisfied with our services. Not only that, if response time and quality of service was the most heavily weighted in the decision process and not the expense or cost of the services, it takes me about 5 minutes to walk here if I walk real slow. So no one in this process could outdo our level of service and response time to any required service. Granted, not all things are going to be a hands-on or boots on the ground response. Some things will be certainly remotely administered. But should those situations arise, literally can be here quicker than anyone else that submitted a proposal. In the grand scheme of things, though, whoever you choose, we want you to choose based on the most educated decision possible. We also don't want to see someone be awarded that, in perception, would directly conflict with the ethos of the city. I mean, the transparency, the honesty, the integrity that I've come to notice from being part of, the business conducted in downtown predominantly. I see that that's very important to everyone involved, and I just want to make sure that the company that takes this huge responsibility is able to live up to what the city deserves in its response to IT needs, cybersecurity. Things are getting much more hard to overcome. Bad actors are able to circumvent security almost as soon as it comes out. So having someone who is up to date with all of the goings on in that world has a much better chance at providing that level of service that is not only deserved but needed in a municipal environment. Aside from that, I feel that I've built a pretty strong rapport with especially several of the detectives at the police department, and just conducting business, everyday repair business for them. And I am uniquely suited to provide additional services. I'm GCI certified in forensic data recovery, which I performed for Towns County, Georgia Sheriff's Department many years ago. But so I'm able to offer an avenue to the police department that right now might take months to a year to get a device back with data retrieved that is holding up cases and other concerns that I would be able to address in a much more expedient fashion. So that is pretty much all I have to say. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate the time, and of course the board and commissions. Ultimately, again, we clearly would like the job, but I just want the best choice to get it. There's probably more than one good choice, but there's only one right choice. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm sure that there's some questions from the commission, and I'll start with District 1 if they have a question, and District 2, and then District 3. District 1, did you have a question?
No sound fine, sir.
District 2?
You said there will be no contract?
There's no requirement of contract, correct. So we rely on our clients to love what we do. And if you don't, you deserve to have someone that you do appreciate the business from, so you're free.
Chris, if you're gonna ask questions, step to the podium.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
yeah.
Yes, sir. So all we require is a 30-day notice of
Okay.
termination of services.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And District 3, Commissioner Felder.
Thank you, Mayor. And I apologize, Mr. Causey, but I didn't catch the name of the company.
Advanced IT support.
And you stated that you all have been in business for 80 years, a combined service of 80 years.
Combined experience, yes, ma'am. In actual business capacity, it's been over 11 years in the Jacksonville area, serving from Palm Coast all the way to Glenn and Winter County.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And District 5.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, any further business with public? Okay.
Yes, sir.
At this time, I have a proclamation and a presentation to our retired educators, and I'd like them to come up. And if you will, let's give them a welcome that they deserve. Proclamation. Retired Educators Day. Whereas the governor of the state of Georgia has proclaimed Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, as Retired Educators Day in Georgia. And whereas there are more than 145,000 retired educators in Georgia, over 32,000 of whom are proud members of the Georgia Retired Educators Association. And whereas the retired educators of Georgia have devoted their lives to the education and development of state's youth and continue to contribute countless hours of volunteer service, enhancing the welfare of their communities across the state. And whereas it is fitting that a special day be set aside for citizens to express appreciation for the many contributions retired educators have made and continue to make for the betterment of individual lives and society as a whole. And whereas local churches and community organizations will recognize and celebrate the lasting impact of retired educators within our community, now therefore I, Dr. Michelangelo James, Mayor of the City of Waycross, do hereby proclaim Sunday, November 2nd, 2025 as Retired Educators Day in the City of Waycross, and call upon all citizens to observe this day in a manner that honors and expresses gratitude to our retired educators for their dedicated service and enduring contributions. In witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Waycross to be affixed this 21st day of October in the year of our Lord 2025. Put three on the side. We're gonna put Miss Karen right here. Right here.
We thank you for this proclamation. And may I just remind everyone, on November the 2nd, would you please acknowledge your retired educators? If you don't do anything but just put thank you for your services in your church bulletin. Thank you.
Thank you again, educators. And the great thing there, when I was reading through that, I'm a part of the Georgia Retired which is really interesting, to be on the retired list, but yet teaching. So that's a fun thing. But at this time, we look to our city manager's report, followed by our mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, the vision and mission remain the same. The city priorities remain the same. The priorities further explained. Bucketed bin items remain the same. As mentioned previously, Mr. Mayor, we have started doing a further breakdown of each priority to better explain this to our citizens and our efforts that we are attaching to each of these priorities. We started with the canals and alleys. And you see the items there that we're working on. I will do a quick update for those who might not be aware. So we've completed the canal maintenance process. So right now we're going back through and trying to finish up some of the aesthetics as far as cutting. And in some situations, we do not have easements to get back to those locations. And I know in the past, there was a prison detail for information. We no longer have access to the prison detail, so that service is no longer provided, so we will not be able to meet the requirements of those areas. But we are trying our best with our new mowers, because they do have better flexibility with the new mowers to get in there in some cases. So where we can, we'll try to make up for not having that prison detail. Next, Mr. Mayor, blighted properties, which we discussed in detail last night. And as mentioned, we're going to bring some more information back to the commission at the next meeting on this subject, on how citizens, and we continue to try our best to mitigate this part of our population. Overpasses and bridges. I got a call this morning about the Arthur Davis overpass. I think you can see the construction going right now. It is started with some of the demolition. It's going to be a slow process. We won't know too much probably until late this year as far as the actual start time. So we'll keep everybody informed as that comes along. And once again, we will be putting out the recommended roads and streets to travel on to get past that construction when it comes. But we're asking citizens to go ahead and start preparing because there will be long wait times with school and season. Streets and roads, Mr. Mayor, as mentioned last night, the great thing here is the dirt roads. We did get them authorization to start, so those first group of dirt roads should be starting this week, and then we'll update progress on those as we go along. Morale, this is mainly focused towards our workforce, and I think things are going well at this time. We've been able to utilize some of the initiatives that we tried to do as far as the flex days, some benchmarking, some other things. It's really going well with the staff. Of course, we talk about data-driven analytics and how we come to our decisions. And I'll cover this more on the communications piece at the end. But we are asking citizens to have their input to please utilize one of these services to interact with the city. We have multiple ways to interact now. I would say utilizing the phone being the last option, but I know some people just inclined to use the phones. But our web page or our Facebook page, the city app, and the new text feature are going to give you information much, much faster than that would do, as it has in the past. The new addition, Mr. Mayor, effective communication, as mentioned, we're making modifications to the city website, so we should be changing that sometime in the near future to make it more streamlined, modernized, as requested by the commission. We talked about our social media platforms and the ways to talk to the commission, the mayor, and the staff. Of course, the primary means of communication is going to be the commission meetings, and then town halls, and the other ways, the email service, the app, the text service, the phone, code red, surveys, and the outreach programs that we currently have in place. And all those kind of tie in to the transparency, the truth, and the collaboration we're trying to have with our cities as far as communications. Mr. Mayor, 10-year plan. Nothing has changed here. We are actually in the midterm of the 10-year plan, years 2 to 4. As stated, implementation of updated programs and policies and ordinances are going pretty well with performance trackers. We continue to improve our workforce. We already had a great workforce. They continue to excel. automation of our IT systems and programs. I think we're almost to the point where everything is live. As far as the last phase, which would have been, and I don't want to overcommit, would have been the code department. We'll make sure that we come back and brief that next week. And then, of course, research design and fund infrastructure strategies for the near future, and then long-term financial strategy. Part of that was last night we updated the commission with the first quarter update. We'll make that be a standard process, a standard practice moving forward. So you'll get 3 quarters, with the last quarter being the actual budget presentation itself. And then, of course, the quality delivery of city services that our workforce provides every day. Mr. Mayor, the infrastructure update remains the same. I will ask all citizens to refer to these slides. They are posted already for the most updated information. Some of this has changed since yesterday as far as the locations and the zones. The projects remain the same. But as far as public works, they are in different locations today, and they will be in different locations tomorrow. Like I said, we're getting the bids for Brunel and Scrivens, dirt roads. I've got the issued notice to proceed, and that's starting now. And of course, the wastewater treatment plant is ongoing with phase 2. And the fall community cleanup. The dumpster is still located in the following areas. We ask all citizens again, if the dumpster is overflowed, please wait until the next day to get rid of your stuff. We've tried to empty it as many times as we can. On certain occasions, we came twice in a day, but right now, it's going to be once in a day. We're going to revise this probably next year on how we do this. Getting right now with the Public Works Director on a better plan on how to handle this, just to make sure we don't have those issues that we had a few times with the amount of debris that came in over the weekend. These are the zones, Mr. Mayor. And again, for those who might not be familiar with our zone concept, the zone is the areas highlighted in color on the map. Zone 1 is Albany Avenue to Plant Avenue. Zone 2 is Memorial Highway to Scrivens Avenue. Zone 3 is Memorial Highway to Haynes Avenue. And Zone 4 is Albany Avenue to Glenmore Avenue. I will answer a question. We do have some work not being done on Scrivens. There was a post put out today to update our citizens. It's actually going on Ava Street. We know we had a question there to look at that traffic jam right there, so we are remarking the street in that location just to better identify the turning lanes and slow people down in that area. Scrivens, once that is, because I've been talking about some of the speed common techniques that we're going to put on infrastructure, we're going to put on Scrivens. This is going to be our first attempt to kind of modernize our streets. As you know, Mr. Mayor, when we pave streets over, people tend to drive a lot faster. So we're definitely trying to get ahead at this time based on a few reasons. First of all, we're going to have a lot of construction going on over the next, I want to say next 3 years, once the bypass starts, and then some of the other projects that the GDOT will be doing as far as the raised mediums and other things within the community. So we're definitely asking people to slow down again, and we definitely going to have to put some additional measures in place to help people slow down. Mr. Mayor, this is the monthly finance update. And lastly, Mr. Mayor, I was asked, we had some questions asked at the citizens question yesterday. I want to provide some feedback on the question about the voting. Real quick, I did go talk, did go down there and talk to the director down there today, or the chairman down there today. I want to make a few points. So there was a lack of clarity on what the overall problem was. So I'm gonna make a few statements. So we did have citizens who actually live in the county who were trying to vote in the city, and that could be a lot of reasons behind that. So I'm not saying that was done, in, illegal or anything like that. They just saw it was an election and they kind of probably weren't paying attention. There was maybe only 1 or 2 people. We did have people that were told they were in one district, although they were actually in their right district. So we gotta be careful when sharing information to our citizens who might not be up to speed on the voting map, and I'll cover that at the end. And then we did have one area, one address that was incorrect, and that was rectified that day within 15 minutes. That citizen was given 3 options. They could wait for the system to catch up and then vote. They could do a provisional ballot, or they could leave and come back the next day that citizen chose to come back the next day, although the matter was resolved within 15 minutes. So, with all that said and done, I don't have the total numbers of votes, but I know right now if you add all those up, that's about a 2% error as far as the vote. And that's actually lower than national standards. So I do want to commend the elections board and everybody working there on the great effort they're doing. This is a hard process because it's very scrutinized, as we all know. And then in some cases, we do have citizens who are not really informed of the voting district. So I will ask that citizens, first of all, you can't just look at the map in its totality. You got to either go to a location with the your geotagging or GIS and really zoom in there to make sure you understand the voting districts. We're going to try to make sure that we put something else out again later this week just to make sure citizens understand that. But to the citizens, when you go to vote, if you have any concerns or questions that they ask me to put this out, please just ask somebody for assistance. Don't make any assumptions, especially if you feel like you've been stirred wrong in some capacity or you lack the understanding where your voting district is. So I will pause there, Mr. Mayor, now for the city update and answer any question that the commission might have.
Before I open the floor to the districts to speak with the commissioners, we wanted to ask a question regarding the voting cards. We used to have cards that come to our homes that told us where we were to vote and what districts we were in.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still give out precinct cards?
I think I got to verify that, Mr. Mayor. I think they still send those out, but it's more electronically now. At the same time, and this kind of goes back to the conversation about more seasoned population. Probably got to figure that out. Help them figure it out sometimes, because they often don't have those cards. They lose those cards, and they show up to vote. Like I say, sometimes underinformed. Just being honest, and then they ask questions. So, but like I said, we're talking about a 2% error margin, which is great. And then I said in those cases, where the counties districts, because they got districts too, that might be confusing sometimes if you're not kind of keyed in to what's actually on the ballot and who we're voting for at this time. So that's something that's not our problem to own. But I would just ask everybody again, and the election board asked me to tell everybody to make sure you kind of understand who's on the ballot for this particular time frame.
Very good. Now I'll open this up to the commission. I'll start with District 1. Did you have any questions of our city
Sounds
manager?
good. Thank you, sir.
Okay. District 2
No, sir.
and District 3.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. I have a comment and some questions. First comment, as I'm driving around the city, since we're talking about roads and, those roads getting paved, I'm noticing that our sidewalks, our curbs and gutter, they're overgrown with vegetation and weeds. And this is all throughout the city and all the districts. So I would appreciate it if, as the roads are being addressed, that is also simultaneously being addressed as well, because it doesn't look good. And that's coming in the city and leaving out. Next, regarding the issues or concerns that have come up with voting, I do recall that there were some issues about the map, the incorrect map not being registered with the Secretary of State, and that was the 2012 map, which is now registered with the Secretary of State, correct?
Correct.
We resolved that a while back.
Correct.
And also we have citizens that can access the website to not only register to vote, but also to confirm that they are an active or an inactive registered voter. That is correct.
Correct.
So when a citizen is a registered voter and they are active, their voter information, that voter card that they can pull up on the internet, it denotes their district and also where they reside. So my question is, if that citizen is registered to vote and that district that they are registered to vote in is accurate based upon their registration, how is it that we are continuously having these issues with voting if we've crossed all the T's and dotted our I's?
So we only had one person where that was incorrect. So we had one person out of the whole election so far that the address was incorrect, and I can't speak on why it was incorrect, but I know it was corrected. The goal is when you find issues is to correct them. So we had one person whose address was incorrect in their district. That could have been a lot of reasons why, because they could have filled out wrong to begin with. I mean, there's a lot of things, and again, that would be an election board question. But of all the early votes we've had one person. So again, I just want to commend the election board because that's a huge accomplishment. If one is too, I get it. One is one too many, but I don't know the specifics again on why that person was not correctly input in the system as far as the address. And we probably need to take that to the election board to explain that in further detail.
Thank you. And I asked the question because I recall back in 2020 when I ran for office, this very same issue was prevalent. And I asked the question, how did this happen? And just to understand the process of how the information for districts and for our voters are entered into the system. And my question has never been answered. So considering this has resurfaced again 4 years later, I would just like to have an understanding of how that whole process works as far as the information in the system.
So the great thing is now, Mr. Mayor, I can have questions over there. Is GIS system. They can pull it right there on the spot, and they can show me what this I mean if I have any questions or concerns. And again, the gentleman the other day, had he stayed 2 more minutes, that would have been explained, but that gentleman chose to leave. When he came back, everything was corrected already. I'm not sure why his address was incorrect, but the new system, I mean, it's on the spot right there. If you got
Jarvis.
yeah, but it's on the spot. So if you got any concerns or questions, they can address it right there on the spot. There's no need to leave and come back the next day. Mr. Mayor, if I can, with the curbs and the grass, again, our Public Works has done a great job this year. I'm not familiar with what curbs and grass you were talking about, but I will advise anybody that's out here, can use the app, take a picture of the curbs and the grass or the gutters, wherever it is, and I guarantee you that Public Works will be there the next business day or the next week, depending on what zone it is, and get it corrected. I drove around last Friday, like I do every Friday, with my Public Works director, and the city looks great to me. I have a lot of comments from everybody. Y'all get the same comments that I get every day. This is the first time that we've kept all our Public Works personnel for the whole period of the year through the cutting period, based on the great direction of the new Public Works director and his initiative and his leadership. We never had that before. Normally we lose half the force pretty much by the summertime. And then with our credit to HR, this is the first time we've been over the 99.9% retainability rate in forever. So when we say certain things, I want to highlight the great things our team is doing. If there is an issue, use the app. It's a great tool to hold us accountable. Take the picture. It's geotagged. They come cut it. It's just point blank.
May I have a follow-up to that?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, and just for clarity for you as well as Public Works and our citizens, this is not a criticism of me mentioning about the sidewalks and the curbs and gutter throughout the districts in the city, but it is an observation, and I use the app quite frequently, not only for myself, but also for citizens who do not know how to use the app or they don't have access to technology. So what I see is clearly an observation, and if you would like for me to submit additional photos, I can in all the districts and show you exactly what I'm referring to.
That'll be good, Mr. Mayor. And again, with that again, far as the curbs and the sidewalk, if there's a car on the curb and the gutters and stuff like that, we cannot get around that. So, well, Commissioner, just take the picture and send it to us.
I've done that before, but I'll do it again.
Yeah,
Thank
do it again, please.
Yes, sir.
So again, we got a great Public Works team that take care of this city. It's the best the city ever looked, ever. We can take criticism, how we want to take it, but we're going to defend this team because they got it every day and do a great job with the resources they have.
An observation, not criticism.
Observation.
So let's be clear.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank
Observation. Mr. Mayor, any additional questions?
I have none. Commission District 5, none.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Complete my report.
Thank you. We thank our city manager for his report, and at this time, just wanted to remind all our citizens that we have a Stay Informed, Stay Safe sign up alert for the city, and this is more like a code red for us. And you can get these in the hallway as well as online. You can get there is a QR code you can take a picture of or actually put your phone up to, and then it will give you the browser, or you can copy and go right in and sign up. And I had several, both phones went off at the same time today, so I knew then that we were on the alert, and I'm grateful for that. So just be reminded that we do have a sign up notification for Civic Ready mass notification system. And if you are interested, please feel free to go to our website. And that's all I have, and I look to our city's clerk for our consent calendar.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Approval of minutes, Waycross City Commission Planning and Information Session, Monday, September the 15th, 2025 at 5 p.m. There are no ordinance second readings. We have some privileged license renewals. Friendly Express, store number 107, D. Turner, 227 Pendleton Street, Waycross, Georgia, 31501. Package sales only, beer and wine. Friendly Express, store number 103, D. Turner, 1811 South Georgia Parkway, Waycross, Georgia, 31503. Package sales only, beer and wine. Friendly Express, store number 50, D. Turner, 1720 Memorial Drive, Waycross, Georgia, 31501. Package sales only, beer and wine. George's Liquor Store, R. Patel, 2401 and a half Plant Avenue, Waycross, Georgia, 31501. Package sales only, beer, wine, and liquor. Corner Stop, J. Patel, 2401 Plant Avenue, Waycross, Georgia, 31501. Package sales only, beer. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commission, you have heard the consent calendar read by our city's clerk. What is your pleasure? I have a motion for approval from our Commissioner Bennett and a second from our Commissioner Felder. We'll move into voting. All in favor, would you raise your right hand? All right hands have been raised. Madam Clerk, the ayes have it and the hands are up. So with that, the consent calendar is approved. Madam Clerk?
We have no privileged licenses at this time. We'll move on to bids, sir.
Okay, so at this time, we'll move to our bids, and we'll call for Ms. Mamie Jackson.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, Commissioners, Purchasing has one item before you this evening. It is for our IT services bid. We received a total of 21 bids, and out of those 21, after review, the best value bid came from ATC Tech on Demand out of Alma, Georgia, at the base annual cost of $186,000 per year. That would be $15,500 per month. We are asking that the commission approve this so that we can begin the transition from our current vendor to ATC.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Commission, you have heard the bid request made by our city's procurement officer. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval.
We have a motion for approval by our Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. Second.
We have a second from our Commissioner Roberts. Any questions or concerns?
Yes, Mayor.
Commissioner Felder.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Mamie, you said the bid based on the value of $186,000 annually per year.
Yes.
Regarding Mr. Causey and his business in terms of services, how did this particular company compare? What was it that made them stand out from the rest that was considered?
Cost value-wise, we are familiar with the company. We have had to actually call them, and I don't want to use crisis, but in a tight time when our current vendor did not respond as needed. They also offer different ways we can reevaluate our contract every year with them. Their base is actually a cost savings to us to what we're currently paying. Their critical response times were excellent. Their on-site support has always been impeccable whenever we needed them. Their contract terms are tiered, so we can roll them out in phases if need be. And for us, it was the best value to us because we have their knowledge, we know their excuse me, we know their experience. We've had the dealings with them before. They've stepped in and helped us when our current vendor would not. And just overall, they have been dependable. Their reputation precedes them, and we feel that their cost is actually, and I'll say again, their cost is actually a cost savings to us to what we're currently paying now.
Thank you. Also, where is ATC, their base location? Where are they
They're
located?
based in Alma.
Thank you.
Any follow-up questions?
Thank you.
You have any questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. We have 3. The bid is approved. At this time, thank you, Ms. Jackson. At this time, we look to our city's clerk.
Mr. Mayor, we have no ordinances at this time. We have one resolution. A resolution of the City of Waycross, Georgia, to award contract for IT services provider to ATC Tech on demand of Alma, Georgia, and for other purposes. By adopting this resolution, the City Commission will award a contract to ATC Tech on demand of Alma, Georgia, to provide comprehensive IT services to the City of Waycross and all of its departments for the contract price of $186,000 per year, which includes infrastructure management for all servers and network devices and 24/7 monitoring and emergency response to be paid for from the general fund. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner, you have heard the resolution read by our city's clerk. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval.
You have a motion for approval by our Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, second.
We have a second from our Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion concerning this resolution? Hearing none, we move into voting. All in favor, raise your right hand. We have Commissioners Roberts, Bennett, and Nelson in agreement. And abstaining from voting is Commissioner Felder. With that being said, the resolution passes. Congratulations, ATC. Will there be an executive session tonight?
No, Mr. Mayor.
With no executive session, we have our last call. We'll look to our commissioners to give their last words for this evening. Looking at District 1, Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Congratulations to the educators. Thank everybody for what they're doing, all the employees and with the city of Waycross for all they're doing to help move the city forward. Also, we have Halloween coming up, so be mindful of the kids, watch out for them. And I'd like to say good night to everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner. Our Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I just agree with Commissioner Roberts. He said a lot. But to our educators, besides our parents, it's you that nurse us, educate us, be that second mom when we're away from our parents. So I want to say thank you for everything that you all have done in molding us to what we are today. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, we look to our Commissioner Felder, District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. As always, thank you to everyone that has come out tonight to join us for our meeting. I'd like to send a special thank you to our educators for what you do for our students. We do recognize the hard work and your contribution to our community, and thank you for increasing our graduation rate to 95.4%, the highest it's ever been. I am a Ware County graduate and a proud graduate of the Ware County school system. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we look to our Commissioner Nelson, District 5.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor. Have a good night.
Thank you, Commissioner. That gives me the sign-off words. And so I am grateful to, of course, educators. My mom was an educator, and I have been an educator since 1988. So it gives me the opportunity to share that as much as the Lord has allowed us to get to this point in time, it's a good thing to have people who will stand alongside us and to train us, prepare us, mold us, and model for us the behaviors that are necessary to become who we are to become. And with that thought in mind, I also want to not only thank the educators, but I commend them for the hard work that is ongoing, because education is not something that just happens in one moment. It is a continuous thing. And that means even in situations where we are challenged, we have the right to champion the proper way of doing things. So when we see crazy things happening, we know we sometimes make the faces, but we also make the corrections. So those are the things that need to be done. Along with that, I want to thank the commission for being present tonight and last night, and also for our city manager, who's done a tremendous job tonight in his presentation as he did last evening. And to each of our members, clerk, thank you so very much. City attorney, thank you. And just to each of you who have come and shared with us, Miss Mamie did a great job in her presentation. She listed off about 4 points in a moment with just like that. She did the thing. And that's what educators do. They teach us how to be on the spot and to respond actively. So I really appreciate what has gone forth tonight. Do want to acknowledge and thank you for your prayers during these seasons. For the last 3 weeks, I've had several members of the family to pass away. And with that being said, it was a really tough time, but I appreciate the Mayor Pro Tem standing in for me right on the earlier portion of the month, and I really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And it's been a good year for growth and preparation. So I know that we're getting opportunities to learn how to handle all matters of events and activities as they come. And so with that, I want to say have a great evening. And to those of you who are going to be meeting me in class in just a little bit, I'll be there shortly. But I do want to say to you, it is a good day to do great things. And we look forward to seeing the great things you do in this community. And I say entertain a motion for adjournment if there may be one. So move.
Second.
We have a motion from our Commissioner Nelson, a second from our Mayor Pro Tem. And we're moving to vote. And all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. We're out of here, and thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.